violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's a Black Gen Z mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
We have new details tonight about a shooting at a Gentilly Walgreens that left 2 people dead. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Bartolotta.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. Eyewitness News learned one of the victims is a 16-year-old girl.
Guys, we continue to have this conversation. As you guys know, my YouTube channel has been demonetized. YouTube obviously does not want the message to get out of what is happening in the community, but I am going to continue to shed a light on the atrocities, and this one is a huge deal because you have a 16-year-old girl who was deleted by one of these super gremlins on demon time.
And Mike McDaniel is live tonight at the Walgreens at the intersection of Elysian Fields Avenue and Gentilly Boulevard. And Mike, I understand you spoke with a relative of the girl.
Yeah, hey there, Devin. I spoke with that 16-year-old girl's great uncle, who happens to be a retired NOPD officer. He told me, given the amount of evidence markers that were out here a little bit earlier, it's an indication to him that this was either some type of shootout or there was more than one gunman. This all happened around 4:30 in the parking lot, not far from the...
And it can pop off whenever, wherever. 4:30 in the morning at a Walgreens. Unacceptable. And the community is complaining about food deserts and not enough resources, and we don't have pharmacies, and this is what's happening. You've got Walgreens and CVS moving out of the community because y'all don't know how to act and y'all shooting up the damn pharmacies.
The front entrance of this Walgreens here at the intersection of Elysian Fields and Gentilly Boulevard. Police say when they got here, they found a male and a female shot multiple times. Now, the male was taken to the hospital where he died. The female, who family members say is a 16-year-old girl, died here at the scene.
Wow.
This shooting happened during the day in a parking lot with cars all around. There are still bullet holes.
Oh, okay, during the day, 4:30 p.m.
through some of the store windows here and shattered glass on the ground. Ed Perkins, who is the great uncle of the 16-year-old, says this brazenness of criminals has gotten out of hand in the city. He doesn't live far.
And this is what they were protesting for, defund the police, even though they're denying it now. Oh, they're denying the fact that they ever said defund the police. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. They were protesting for defund the police and criminal justice reform, no cash bail. And now that you've gotten all these things that you have voted and protested for, you're seeing the result of it, and it's ugly.
Far from here, and says he actually passed the scene earlier, only to get a phone call that it involved someone he knew. He doesn't know why his great niece was at this Walgreens or who she was with.
I mean, she's going to a pharmacy. Why can't she be going to a Walgreens?
He says it's another sad day for the city and that today it's his family, but given the number of shootings in the city, especially involving kids, tomorrow may be someone else's.
You know, this is a kid. This is somebody we won't ever see again. This was her last day on earth. 16 years. I can't process it right now.
It's just another example of someone who has chosen to take out whatever they have inside of them on others, and that's unacceptable. It'll never be something that we should tolerate in our city, and there's got to be more concern.
I mean, y'all been tolerating it. #1 murder capital per capita in the U.S. They ain't playing out there in New Orleans. These super gremlins are on demon time.
Concern for human beings.
Now, we do not yet know the age of that other victim. Police initially reported him to be an adult. However, folks on the scene believe he may also be a juvenile. Police also have not released any information regarding possible suspects.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job I'm out here living in cardboard boxes, outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe. Hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jinquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jinquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your pop.
Y'all killing me with this shit.
Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take over
What
your
more
show.
do you want from me?
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Bartolotta.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. Today, the Jefferson Parish Sheriff announced an arrest in the murder of an employee of the New Orleans Police Department.
She was also an Uber driver who had no idea she was being targeted by a man who intended to kill someone, anyone who responded to his request for a ride. Meg Ferris has been following all of today's new developments and joins us live now. Meg, this is such a tragic story.
Well, I want to read to you a tweet by Wendell Pierce. It says, Yolanda Dillon, my church member for decades, a woman with a heart of gold and a deep love of God, was murdered yesterday. The murderous violence of New Orleans and this country has come even closer to me personally.
Yeah, man. A lot of brothers are doing this trick where they're calling an Uber driver, and in this case, the brother wanted to catch a body. In other cases, it was a robbery gone wrong. I remember we did a story on, well, I did one story on these female teen gremlins who tried to rob this lady in Norcross about the same time, around the same time last year, like it was like late November, early December. And I just did a story a few months ago about a Pennsylvania Uber driver who was deleted. Her name was Christy Spicuzas, and she was deleted by a super gremlin out there. And he called for, well, his girlfriend called for the ride, and she picked up, and you know, he deleted her, and there was dash cam footage and all that, all types of stuff, and he didn't care. He still took her out. The super gremlin's name was Calvin Crew. And this has definitely become a trend. You know, these super gremlins are making Uber very dangerous. I used to drive Uber. I don't do it any longer because of how dangerous I started to see how it was getting. And this was in 2019.
We are in crisis.
You can't just go take nobody's life. Somebody who not doing you nothing, just take their life. That's my only child. I don't have no other. When your child leave in the morning, you expect to see him come back, you know.
Edna Dillon is living with cancer. Her only child, Yolanda Dillon, was everything to her.
She took very good care. She made my groceries and cooked and bought everything, you know. She paid all my bills and things.
Man, that's crazy. Sounds like a great woman.
So he just left me with nobody, you know.
Yolanda was 54, a breast cancer survivor. She lived with her mom and was one step away from getting her PhD in sociology. She was driving Uber to make extra money for tuition costs and all the Christmas gifts for family and church children. She was on an Uber run, and JP Sheriff Lapinto says she picked up 29-year-old Brandon Jacobs and dropped him off at the Travel Lodge in Harvey around 3 o'clock Thursday. As they pulled in, he just stabbed her from the back. You see him walk away. The next person goes to get in the Uber and sees the crime and runs back in for help.
Dang, that is insane. And that sister is lucky that he didn't delete her too. You have to be careful with these people that you are allowing in your vehicle. Obviously, he didn't care about getting caught, and this is the risk that you take being an Uber driver. So, RIP to this woman. She definitely didn't deserve it. What can I say here? These super gremlins are on demon time.
When we asked him specifically, how did you pick her? His response was, I didn't pick her, Uber picked her. Meaning that she was the random person that picked him up that day.
Deputies arrested Jacobs of Harvey. He is charged with second-degree murder. The sheriff says there is a mental health aspect to this.
A mental health. See, they already given him the mental health out. It's BS, bruh. He knew exactly what he was doing.
This case.
He actually videotaped the incident, the aftermath of the incident, posted it on social media. We had to work with Facebook last night to get that removed.
Wow, posted it on social media. I'm gonna have to find that video. Maybe I'll drop it in the Discord.
Morning.
For 10 years, Yolanda worked as a fiscal budget analyst at NOPD. Chief Ferguson describes her as quiet, humble, and always positive.
Truly an extremely lovely person. The team loved her. As I said, we really had to deal with some emotions this morning with our staff.
Now a mother wonders how she's going to go on.
He took my only child.
And that was Edna, the mom, and she says that Yolanda, her only child, was born on her birthday, and she didn't know that her daughter was picking up fares to go on Uber. She thought she was just delivering food, like with Uber Eats. Uber Eats. Now, the funeral's going to be...
Yeah, if you are going to do Uber, I would suggest Uber Eats instead of picking people up, because some of these folks you picking up, it could get wicked, especially in cities like New Orleans, Atlanta, Philly, Chicago, LA. I mean, any major city that's democratically ran.
Here at St. Paul the Apostle, which is in New Orleans East, but they don't have a date set yet. Yolanda was very active in this church, helping the children. She was a lecturer. She did many things here, and people here are mourning as well. Reporting live from New Orleans East, Meg Farris, Eyewitness News. Back to you.
A very senseless crime and such a tragic loss, Meg. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, I'm Meg Gatto.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. An Uber driver who was also an NOPD employee is murdered outside a Jefferson Parish hotel after she picked up a passenger in New Orleans.
As Natasha Robin reports, deputies say the suspect told investigators his motive was simple. He just wanted to kill someone.
Truly an extremely lovely person.
54-year-old Yolanda Dillion, an Uber driver and NOPD employee, murdered outside the Travel Lodge Hotel on the West Bank Expressway in Harvey. Deputies arrested this man, 29-year-old Brandon Jacobs, for what investigators call a random, brutal act of violence.
His confession basically was stated that he woke up yesterday morning and decided he was going to kill someone.
So he woke up yesterday morning and decided he wanted to catch a body. I told you guys that this was going to start happening more often, and YouTube does not want to save people. They don't want awareness being brought to people, but here I am bringing awareness that these super gremlins are waking up in the morning and randomly feeling like they want to catch a body. This is the aura that is radiating in the community. And this is what we need to address so we can put a stop to it and people can actually be conscious of this thing going on so that they can at least defend themselves. But you hear it from the horse's mouth. The man woke up and said he wanted to randomly catch bodies.
And decided that was going to be the day.
Sheriff Joe Lapinto says Dillion, working for Uber, picked up Jacobs in New Orleans and gave him a ride here to the hotel where he was staying. Moments after arriving, Lapinto says Jacobs brutally stabbed Dillion in the parking lot.
He was in the back seat, stabbed him from behind, exited the vehicle, and then just walked away casually.
Dillion died at the hospital. Only a couple of hours later, investigators took Jacobs into custody. And during an interview with him, Lapinto says they got a full confession.
Now, when we asked him specifically, how did you pick her? His response was, I didn't pick her, Uber picked her. You know, meaning that she was the random person that picked him up that day.
Deputies say they also learned that Jacobs posted gruesome video of what he said he did on Facebook.
Very, very unfortunate.
And my question is, how is that second-degree murder when he had intent? It was planned, it was pre-thought out, but I guess they're giving them the mental health route. It's, man, look.
Fortunate situation to the point of he actually videotaped the incident, or the aftermath of the incident, posted it on social media.
The video is now removed. Dillion, an Uber driver, was also a 10-year civilian employee of the NOPD.
You know, she's very quiet. She's very humble, like a quiet giant, a little giant, I would say, because she was big in stature and what she did and what she meant to this department. And it tore our employees up this morning.
Chief Sean Ferguson says Dillion worked as a fiscal budget analyst and was loved by so many.
But she was caring for her mother. Her mother is sick as well. So she had been the caretaker of her mother for the last several years. Truly an extremely lovely person.
Tonight, her family tries to cope with the senseless murder of a woman who investigators say was only doing her job.
This is definitely something that blindsided everyone.
Deputies continue to investigate, but Sheriff Joe Lapinto says Jacobs remains locked up on a second-degree murder charge. Natasha Robin, Fox 8, Local First.
Gang violence.